Mr. Hyde here, kind of going over forged lowers and forged receiver sets. We have two different forged sets here. There's a lot of talk about forged sets, saying, mil spec is mil spec is mil spec. I just don't believe that to be true. Case in point, these two different lowers. This one on the right here is forged by Mega. And they're one of my favorite companies. QC's normally really high. They've done a lot of forgings for different companies, a lot of milling out for different companies. You can see the receiver, extremely no play. There's no pins in either of these receiver sets. There's no rattle. I mean, I can hold it upside down. So obviously very snug, very tight fit. It's great for, building a real tried and true rifle, So I just, I feel like there's a huge difference versus something like this set. I won't use names, just going over the difference kind of on the lower spectrum. You see this receiver set, a lot of rattle, tons of play. They do sell things, shims, things like that, that can quiet that and kind of snug everything up. But I mean, it's just, you can tell a big difference. Yeah, both of these sets were forged, but in the QC end of it, whoever mills it out and to what spec they mill it out to, big difference. So I'm not saying you necessarily need to spend Noveski or Daniel Defense money. I'm not a huge fan of, because those guys have their issues as well. As to where when you find a solid company like this, I've seen a lot of Aero precision sets that are this tight or very close to it. I just, you can build solid rifles with, way less than, you would spend on any of those high tier companies, unless you're talking about billet, high-end type receiver sets, or you're building something for the name or the flash, then sure. But I mean, for your everyday rifles, I don't care whether you're shooting 3-gun or whatever, you get a receiver set like this, that's got this type of quality control, you just can't beat it. I mean, Mega's always been one of my favorites. They were absorbed by or purchased by Zev. I really hope Zev continues with their quality control and to put out the same type of products that Mega used to. The first rifle I ever built was a Mega billet set. I still have it. It's my first ever build, upper and lower complete, so I'm kind of partial to it. But they've always been, man, I've had a few different Mega sets, built a few different Mega sets, and just love them. Not to say that you can't build, a decent rifle with this receiver set. I've built plenty of them, just because of the price point and what people wanted, or what they could spend. So with this receiver set, I've built plenty of rifles, put thousands of rounds through them, no hiccups, a lot of them overgassed a little bit, just because you're just building with, your basic budget stuff. So if you run them a little overgassed, it kind of compensates for some of the, flaws. So if you were getting into tuning, like tuning the gas system, or, getting into higher end buffers and stuff, I would definitely say make the jump, spend, $100, $150 more, and get into something like this set, and there are sets around this same, like Aero Precision, great company, that are on the same line that, will do the same type of, or have the same type of quality controls. So yes, forged is forged. They all start with forged billets, but it's all about who's doing the mill work, who's milling it out, and to what quality control. So that's the big difference between the two. Something that's extremely tight, versus something that's obviously, really loose. So that's my bit for the day, and tune in, I guess, as I do more videos, we'll get into deeper stuff.